This railroad bridge and the Ashtabula River behind me look very different today than it did 150 years ago. It was right here where Ohio and the country suffered one of its first major tragedies, the Ashtabula train disaster. You can see in these pictures, it was one of the most horrific train wrecks of the 1800s. Nearly 100 people lost their lives here. But for years, there was barely a mention of the tragedy.
And he said, "Are they doing anything?" And he said, "I don't think anybody even remembers the Asheville train disaster." And there wasn't a single marker in our county talking about it. There'd never been a book written about it.
Spend just a few minutes with local historian Barbara Hamilton, and she'll tell you about Ashtabula County's rich history. She's spent her life telling others about one of Ohio's and our country's first tragedies. It was just after Christmas, December 29th, 1876. The Pacific Express, a luxurious passenger train, steamrolled through a blizzard on her way to Chicago. The train departed from Buffalo and turned its way to Ashtabula. The train, with all its cars, approached the bridge spanning high above the frozen Ashtabula River below. The train depot lay just ahead. The first engine made it across safely, but not the second engine, before the bridge crumbled and collapsed. All of its cars fell 70 feet, crashing into the gorge below. A fire started. The flames quickly engulfed the cars. These paintings and pictures show you the damage and devastation from that night. Of the 170 passengers aboard, 95 people, men, women, and children, lost their lives. Most of them couldn't be identified. They are remembered here at Chestnut Grove Cemetery. Because of the Ashtabula train disaster, Ohio started regulating the railroad industry, from how bridges are built, inspected, and how railroad cars at that time were heated. I've lived in Ohio my whole life. I've never learned any of this tragic story in school. One reason is due to Ohio's education guidelines, which leave little room for local history. However, historian Hamilton says she started to see more public interest over the years.
We planned this thing. We got great advertisement, had hundreds and maybe 500 or 600 people come for all the sessions. And then we had a discussion.
Over the course of our 2-hour meeting, Barbara shared with me countless artifacts, pictures, and stories. One of them led me to a retired teacher named Raina Sidbeck, who took it upon herself to teach her third grade class.
The guidelines were a little looser, and I just knew the kids would absolutely love learning about the train disaster like I did at that age.
Along with Barbara and the help of others, Raina gave her students and their families an immersive learning experience that included the bridge's collapse. Raina says implementing the disaster into state curriculum would be beneficial to students.
From what I saw in the years that I taught it, anything that piques students' interest, gets them excited about learning, is worthwhile. In addition, with the train disaster, it's a place that you can visit. I mean, kids can take field trips and walk to where it happened.
One last thing to mention. Amtrak says over 34 million people ride their trains annually, and all of their lives are a little bit safer thanks to the 95 men, women, and children who gave their lives here that fateful winter's night 150 years ago. I'm Jordan Whetson reporting.